backwards this time just to test myself here. It's going to be Complexity on the screen in the red trunks, going up against Curse Academy, who have yet to pop up on the screen. In the blue side here, guys, it's going to be an epic show match here. It's, of course, the top two teams in the Ancient Golem Conference and Malphus X. What are we going to expect here early on?
That is an excellent question. The mid lane is a lane that we haven't, it's a lane matchup we haven't seen in quite some time here. It's going to be Brand going up against Ziggs. We've got top lane Jarvan going up against the Jax. I was asking a little bit earlier about why we've seen less Jax, and the answer was because people can abuse him early game. Jarvan, very strong early game champion. We might actually see a level 1.
Ooh, going in aggressive right here. Mega Zero takes a lot of damage. The counter strike's available. Stuns out on the one bad Brad, but he has to flash away. The repel goes off from Elise just to mitigate some damage, and Rux goes down the Ninja Ken with first blood there for the pony. He actually, ooh, a good play there by MIA, hits everybody from Curse Academy, but the Zyra passive goes off, and they're going to wind up trading 2 for 2. Blinking health bars across the map. The bouncing baby bomb will not land true, and so far, it's just an even exchange early on. 2 for 2 this game, with first blood going to Ninja Ken.
Insane amounts of action in that one. We see that first blood goes to Ninja Ken, so he's going to be able to pick up the heftiest chunk of gold and all of that. But then both supports end up picking up a kill, whereas Fabi is able to grab the other kill. So instead, like the gold is on Ninja Ken instead of onto Trooper this early on. We'll see exactly what effect this has on the landscape here. Hecarim, a jungler that if he gets out of head can snowball very, very hard. And he's gone with a strong early game item here. He's actually picked up a Doran's Blade to go along with his Hunter Machete and a lot of health potions here. So time will only tell who ends up coming out ahead of that one. Obviously, gold-wise, it goes marginally ahead of Complexity. But we'll see if that gold distribution has an impact in the early game.
Well, the distribution has gone down onto the jungler from the side of Complexity, who needs to be a playmaker early on, but the AD carry and support, both from the side of Curse Academy, have picked up that early gold. That translates into some boots, as well as a Doran's Blade for Lucian going head-to-head against Caitlyn and Thresh in this matchup, as well as the fact that, let's keep in mind, Curse Academy have burned less summoners in that early engagement than the side of Complexity. There's 2 solo lane, oh, I'm sorry, not their 2 solo lanes, but their solo lane and their support still have flashes available, which means that Ninja Ken on that Hecarim without his ghost up is going to have a harder time ganking, whereas this early item pressure from the bottom lane may wind up working against Complexity early on. We'll have to see though. This is a Lucian without a Thresh this time around, going head-to-head against the Caitlyn, and I really want to see how this matchup actually pans out.
This is going to be quite interesting to watch. If Caitlyn is able to utilize her range to just abuse the Lucian and not allow him to really get an opportunity and just continue to harass, they will have to be very careful though, because now that Satsalo has hit level 2, there's a lot of good pressure coming out from that Zyra. That hook isn't going to land on MIA, so a little bit less of that. Although, I mean, that's a haunted Zyra, so it's definitely scary. It's scared me. Yeah, very spooky. Many spooks.
Every single one of those plans is going to be scary. Like that one right there that locks up MIA. Flame misses on the Fabi. There's no ward in that brush, but now there is, but a little bit too late. Dash the sword right there. Auto attack going off. One more is going to score a kill onto MIA, but Super, he's going to get one for himself. Flash away from Tatsula. Well, that summoner advantage isn't there anymore. So 1 kill apiece for the AD carries in that lane, and that's going to be, well, pretty much evened up right there for the side of Complexity, but more experience and potential farm going for Super as he stays alive.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a very aggressive play. A beautiful outplay by Satsalo. I mean, he used the plant to block the death sentence. I mean, he just locked it up right in front of him. He was able to lock him up as well. So much damage. And then Fabi just completely committed to that. He did anything and everything it took and just chased that kill down. And he was able to secure it. But then he ended up giving that one back over. And as you mentioned, Trooper being able to shove this lane in is going to give him a significant CS advantage. It's going to give him an experience advantage as well. And that exchange is going to end up going in favor of Complexity.
A hero minion blocks the cocoon from one bad Brad as he was almost able to catch on with Trooper right there, but a well-placed 90 caliber net keeps the Piltover Sheriff alive for the time being in this bottom lane. Now met up with Thresh down there, he's going to be content to sit around a little bit and try to extend the CS advantage. With double Dorians and boots picked up for Fabi, they got to be careful about the kill potential that Lucian has right now. We know how strong of a poker he is, and we've seen how aggressive he can go against the Caitlyn lane, especially if Zyra is going to land one of those grasping roots. But without many summoners left in the bottom lane matchup, one hook or one grab could spell death for either side. Probably in the mid lane getting aggressive on the Jacksonist, but he baits him into a one bad Brad cocoon. Elise secures the kill right there, and Ziggs goes down in a 2v1 effort.
Great initiation there by Woman Brad, being able to catch that cocoon down, and Jackson's just baited that out so well. They just so well, probably committed really, really hard to that one. Jackson just kind of pulled him in on that one. No flash was available, so he knew that they had the opportunity to take that one back down. Rux and Mega Zero, I mean, they've been at it pretty much the entire time in this top lane. Rux getting the better of it thus far as he's up 9 CS, 10 CS even.
Yeah, Ruck's actually getting a little bit of the CS advantage over here against Jax, but that's just a little bit of what you expect coming out from an early game Jax, even if it's Mega Zero in this circumstance. Not the strongest in lane in the beginning stages of the game, but he really starts to turn things around later on when he gets some itemization for himself. Bottom lane, we did see a little bit of aggression being applied back onto Trooper and MIA. Of course, this is going to be courtesy of the fact that Trooper hasn't gone back quite yet. Ninja Kendo is going to come in and assist that top lane Jax just a little bit. Good Flag and Dragon flash over the wall away from Rux. Ninja Ken not going to be able to catch up to Jarvan quite yet, or is he? Backs away from that situation, and Jarvan's going to get out of there by the skin of his teeth.
Very, very nicely played there by Rux, being able to split Ninja Ken off. So much burst damage coming out from that Hecarim when he runs in there with that devastating charge. I mean, just, or actually, that sounds like a Poppy skill. I may have just messed up, and I may have incensed. No, it is devastating charge. That is the Hecarim.
Devastating blow is the Poppy skill. If I know anything, I know what names of skills to hate.
Yeah, the heroic charge. Oh, I see. So I kind of combined them there. But in any case, devastating charge coming from Hecarim. A lot of burst damage just put Rux in a really bad situation, and that's how you punish that aggression. He was very forward, very aggressive in that lane, and Ninja Ken was able to punish him for it. Got the flash off, and now Mega Zero is all caught up in CS. Nicely played.
Alright, so now we have Mega Zero evening things out in that lane matchup. Also gives him a breath to go back and buy lots of Doran's items acquired, so maybe there's a discount at Doran's workshop for Mega Zero here, but a giant spell has been acquired for Rux, so he's deciding to go for a bit of a tanky build for his team, whereas Mega Zero, well, we pretty much know he's going to go after those Doran's items. Trinity Force has been a hot commodity for Jax players in the top lane, as has been that Blade of the Rune King. We'll have to see what order he gets it in. A Lantern in for Ninja Ken means Tatsulo is going to wind up going down right here, despite Trooper looking absolutely delicious. That bottom lane duo gets baited into a kill.
Very, very nice gank there, and Ninja Ken is really abusing the mobility of Hecarim in the early game against all these people with no flash. And we talked about how the cooldowns for summoner spells were in favor. Oop, one by Brad. Oop, Ninja Ken. Oop, they're fighting.
Oh, they're fighting over this blue buff area, and looks like that Elise might be getting a little bit of a nice there, but oh, the Mega Inferno Bomb gets repelled on top of, so there's going to be no DPS coming out from that wasted Probably ultimate. Bouncing Bomb into MIA, good play right there. Ace in the hole lands on the Jackson, so MIA is the one who actually winds up paying with his life for that one. Now we have Fabi coming down into this Dragon Pit area. He's in a 3v awkward 2 kind of situation right here. Directed camera's going to pan up into the top lane, but I'm going to look back towards this Dragon Pit area, where once the Dragon has been aggroed on the Prowly, Complexity actually lose one when it looked like they were the ones trying to turn that situation around.
That's the burst damage from Brand. Whenever there's another target in the area and there's potential for Pyroclasm, one by Brad trying to get in on the Prowly. Satchel Charge is going to be a good disengage there. But, I mean, you just see the burst damage that Brand is capable of. Was able to pick up that kill on the MIA. Also, nicely played by Jacksmith to position himself to tank up that ace in the hole, as it almost certainly would have been the end of one by Brad if he allowed that one to go down. Then he retreated into the Dragon Pit, was hoping that no one would follow him and force him to actually burn the flash. He could get out. Probably recognized his plight and just aggroed the dragon and said, "Okay, you deal with it." And that's what Jacksmith did have to flash over the wall to get himself away from that one.
Jacksmith gets out safe, but a summoner spell has been burned in that circumstance for the life of MIA. We did see that Rux was trying to contest the enemy red buff, but as soon as Ping sent down for Mega Zero, he thought twice about it and decided to back away to his own side of the map. And we see him actually going back. He has a Doran's Blade, a Crystalline Flask, and still rocking that giant spell to hold up his mighty armor that he's been acquiring over the course of the game so far. Bottom lane side, let's take a look at the matchup here between the AD carries, because we have a bit of a different build coming out from Fabi this game. Last game, we saw that Last Whisper and Bloodthirster picked up for, actually, I'm going to shut myself up right here as Trooper actually gets initiated on right there. The culling goes out, chasing down Fabi, getting it blocked by MIA. The hook comes back in on the Tatsulo, flaying the tower range. MIA secures the kill right there as the ace in the hole goes on that rapid cooldown from Trooper. And wow, I wanted to talk about a Trinity Force build from Lucian, but a kill gets picked up right there for Complexity.
That was just fantastic play from MIA. He was so patient about that one. Body blocking out the entirety of the culling. That's one of that spell's weaknesses is, it can get blocked out like that. And that was really nice positioning from MIA. But then he was able to bait it in so far. And Satsulo and Fabi both got a little bloodthirsty for that one. They really wanted to be able to pick up that kill when the opportunity wasn't necessarily there. And MIA was able to punish them for it in a big way. That flay, that was a lot of damage output. And the tower, of course, was on Satsulo. The squishier of the two at this point in time. I'm not sure if he had that Ruby Crystal or not, but in either case, he just got absolutely melted.
Yeah, in that circumstance, the support set is going to be a little bit squishier than the AD carry in some of the early game circumstances and even going into the later stages of the game. So Tatselo, well, last time it was MIA that paid for his life in a situation which was turned around by Curse Academy. This time, it's Tatselo that winds up paying for his life. Again, turnaround from Complexity. And now we have a brief moment in time. Malvis, last game, we saw Robert X. Lee going for Bloodthirster Last Whisper on Lucian. This time around, Fabi's rushed the Sheen portion of a Trinity Force. What do you think that's is up with the item choice this time?
It's kind of one of the two paths that people end up going with Lucian. They either build a more conventional AD carry, which right now involves a lot of early Bloodthirster builds, or they go with the Trinity Force to synergize with the Ardent Blaze that comes out. Like with the Phage and the Ardent Blaze. Also, it kind of takes advantage of the fact that he has a lot of burst in the early game. So the Trinity Force, it offers a lot, but it doesn't necessarily offer a lot if you kind of fall further behind. It's just the kiting potential that you have with Phage plus Ardent Blaze. So, I mean, if Fabi's able to get himself out ahead, he can win these trades. But at this point, Trooper has enough sustain that he's not... like one trade, like one advantageous trade from Fabi isn't going to be enough to really get a whole lot of advantage down because he doesn't have the follow-up pressure to actually force something else out from Trooper. It's going to take a really solid all-in and probably some presence from One Bad Brad to really make that happen.
Well, I mean, we've seen popularity of Trinity Force AD carries shrink a little bit, but Corki had been a popular pickup with his Trinity Force versus poke and trade potential after that Sheen proc goes in. Let's keep our eyes peeled on Lucian because I'm really liking the ability to proc that little bit of extra damage, but we'll see what winds up working out for Fabi on Lucian in the bottom side of the map. Trooper, however, has gone for what looks like to be that Bloodthirster build on Caitlyn, which means that these towers, like the outer one on the bottom lane he's wheeling away on right now, are going to be what he sets his sniper scopes on for Complexity. Now, Complexity has been known to go for these rotations and take down the outer towers as quickly as possible, but Curse Academy have put a damper on the plans, at least for the time being. There hasn't even been a Dragon attempt, and it's 12 minutes in. There is going to be a gank attempt here by Ninja Ken, but it gets sniffed out by a pink ward in the Tri-Brush. A little lantern right there from the Thresh Express secures. Hecarim's going to get out of there with his life.
Ninja Ken he was a big part of the early game. He's been struggling to really make as much impact in the last couple of minutes. That's relatively common with Hecarim. He does have the ultimate available, so you do need to watch out for that. He has so much initiation potential where he can come over a lot of different walls, and whether or not he ends up terrifying you with the ultimate, it's very likely that he'll be able to get behind you and push you into his laner. But right now, his lanes are doing just fine. The gold right now is dead even across the map. We're also even on kills, and the farm numbers are relatively close across the map as a whole. So Ninja Ken, this is about the time where he needs to start making big plays on that Hecarim. He needs to start getting his team out ahead of this one, and they need to start taking down some of these objectives. As you mentioned, Complexity, a very objective-driven team. That's one of the things that they do the best, and one of the things that they execute the best. They need to start getting that happening right now.
And so we'll have to see here. They have that bottom tower that had been pushed out from that early trade where Fabi gave his life for a kill against MIA. They've been pushing down it, but as you can see here, the culling is doing a really good job at just dissuading Caitlyn from being able to get too much damage applied onto that tower. And that's one of the reasons why it stayed alive for so long in this bottom lane here. This is letting One Bad Brad kind of move around the map and has shut down that early aggression that Ninja Ken was able to get utilizing his first blood. Ever since he really got that kill in the top lane side of the map and then got the lantern, I mean, those are very quick, rapid succession ganks. There's probably been about 8 minutes or so where he hasn't really made a huge impact on the map. And if anything, when they were contesting that blue buff, it was actually disadvantageous for Complexity. So now we'll have to see where their focus is going to be. That bottom lane tower getting lower and lower, but Trooper gets locked up right there. Is he going to be able to get an ace in the hole onto Zyra right there? He's not. It's on cooldown. A lantern away from Thresh right there is going to save him from Fabi as the AD carry from Complexity trades his low health bar for the low health bar of the support coming out from Curse Academy.
Early on in the game, supports trading their HP evenly with opposing AD carries is advantageous for the support because they bring health potions into the lane, they have more sustain. But at this phase of the game, Trooper, I mean, he's got the BF sword, he's got the Vampiric Scepter, he has a lot of sustain. Mega Zero in a 2v1 in the top lane.
Oh, Mega Zero, he did have the Mega Inferno Bomb from Prowler on the bottom side. Actually, the box goes down from MIA to protect Trooper taking this tower away. Fabi's down extremely low and his mana pool is low as well. Flash throw from Trooper, but it's into a Stranglethorn and a root from Zyra. Tatselo picks up the kill. The Ignite goes down from MIA to exact revenge for his AD carry in that circumstance. Now it's a support fight, the most exciting thing in League of Legends. Oh wait, there's a jungler coming in, never mind. Ninja Ken comes in, grassing roots go wide to the right, not going to wind up picking up a kill onto MIA, and Ninja Ken gets his second kill of the game. There's the pony making an impact on Summoner's Rift.
And so, but we see Curse Academy, they're going to take advantage of the fact, okay, Hecarim's down in the bottom lane. We know that we killed their AD carry as well, so the likelihood of them being able to take down a dragon is not very high. Let's commit our jungler up to the top lane. Let's be sure to get this tower down, extend that lane, and get some global gold going for our team. Only Jax was in a lot of trouble.
Oh, the ultimate had not been popped by Ninja Ken, and Jaxmus finds himself on the receiving end of a lot of pony pain and punishment. The Pyroclasm bounced back and forth, but Ninja Ken barely gonna survive. 58 HP on my health bar is what I saw right there. One Bad Bread's Elise is in the area though, but he's gonna set his sights on Prolly, as Prolly's gonna have to try to get himself out of there. Not a lot of HP, not a lot of mana left in there, but enough for a satchel charge. Is gonna use it to push One Bad Bread backwards. The flame goes out from MIA, but what goes up must come down. Hook actually lands onto a plant right there. Not gonna wind up connecting into One Bad Bread. Tatsulo with another clutch hook denial.
Tatsulo has been on point with that. That's what you always hope your support Zyra will be able to do in solo queue whenever you see that. And Tatsulo has just been fantastic with this one. Another route going down to the Trooper, but it's not going enough to dissuade him. He takes down the tower. Now he's in trouble. Nope. Never mind.
Nope. He's got the Thresh Express out of there, and that's the second outer tower down for complexity. So when we just kind of talked about this, Malphus. When was that Trooper Caitlyn going to kick in to rotate around the map and start taking down towers? Well, I guess it's about the 15.5-minute mark.
Yeah, and interestingly enough here, Trooper complexity, Rux in a lot of trouble getting pushed back in. Another huge satchel charge.
Oh man, Rux taking down extremely low, has to flag and drag the heck out of there. Mega Inferno Bomb secures the kill right there. That's a big old splash from Prolly, and he picks up his second kill of the game for complexity. With the Jarvan down, he's not the smiter, but he is a very powerful force for Curse Academy at that Sunfire Cave. This is going to net complexity some dragon control, as almost 5 of their members of the team are in the area. One Bad Brad actually hits the cocoon on Prolly, but the lantern goes out from Thresh. Mega Zero is keeping Fabi at bay on the bottom side of the map, and it looks like an easy acquisition for Dragon while Trooper holds the mid lane.
Trooper going to try to keep as much damage off this tower as he possibly can, but he needs to be careful. If a single cocoon lands or one of those seer stuns, could be a lot of trouble. Complexity, nope, just Prolly. Coming over here, going to get some poke down, wants to alleviate the pressure. He knows that his team has control of the Dragon. He doesn't need to be in the area, so he just moves up and helps Trooper out.
Yep, so Trooper gets a little bit of aid from his friends right there. They've taken down the Dragon as well, and all of a sudden, it's a 3,000 gold lead for Complexity Gaming at the 17.5-minute mark. Hook over the wall, finds Tatsulo. In goes MIA. He throws out the lantern. Who's going to take it? Trooper takes it. He actually takes it right into a Pyroclasm, though. Oh, no. Double kill for Jaximus. They do take down Elise, but at what cost? It's going to be 1 kill picked up back on the Tatsulo. The Cataclysm goes down. Prolly's going to wind up being shut down right there. The kill goal goes to the AD carry, and Fabi picks one up for himself. A nice fat bounty right there. Mega Zero gets flag and drag, knocked up. Poke coming out there. Rux secures the kill. In comes a Hecarim charge that's going to pick up a kill on Jaximus. Can Ninja Ken get another kill on the Fabi? No, the dash back into the tower. Ninja Ken takes way too much damage. Now it's Rux coming in. Is he going to be able to pick up a kill on this very elusive Hecarim? He's just dodging over the wall, trying to wait for something. Oh, he found himself a Rux. Flag and drag doesn't connect. The Ignite goes down in a flash, and one quick glove tap. Rux picks up a kill, and every member of Complexity in that fight died.
That was an extremely extended fight. There's so much kiting over around, so many people trying to get caught out in the jungle, or trying to catch their opponents out in the jungle, I should say. I'm very intrigued by this style of play because Complexity is a team that we've generally expected to focus on taking down towers. But Trooper at this point, I don't know if it was just because of how much gold he had, but he decided to take a little bit different tact. Generally speaking, when we see Caitlyn's do that, they prioritize picking up a Bloodthirster, and a lot of times they'll go for a second item Static Shiv to allow them to push the creeps even faster and get onto those towers. He's gone for the Infinity Edge this time around, and I think because of that, he felt very, very confident in his team fight power, which he should. I mean, he's hitting very, very hard right now. That Caitlyn with the Infinity Edge, you get a headshot prop with a bonus damage. It's a lot. It's a lot. But right now, he was in a bad position. Jaxus is able to blow him up, and the rest of his team was not in the best place after it, where they don't have that consistent auto-attack damage output coming out from Trooper. So Complexity need to be a little bit more careful about when they go for a big fight like that, and it looks like they're going to play a little bit more patiently and go back to the just taking away towers game.
Yeah, and as you saw right there, the hesitation to take the Lantern into a brand that they potentially knew had his ultimate available. The bouncing Pyroclasm right there just did too much damage. Now it's a bit of a duel and split push situation here. Caitlyn and Thresh are in the top lane, whereas Megazero is applying a lot of pressure on Fabi. But with that Trinity Force already acquired and none on the side of Megazero, he has to flash away. Barely getting out of that one. If my count is correct, he had about 60 HP on that account there. So Fabi definitely winning the duel against Jax in the earlier stages of this game. But now 4 members, actually 3 members of Complexity are sieging down on this last outer tower from Curse Academy, but there is a staunch defense of 3 members of their own trying to stop Complexity from pushing down the remaining towers on the map.
This is I mean, right now, Mega Zero, the biggest issue he has is the fact that he has very, very limited sustain. And there's at least a Vamp Scepter over here for Fabi. So even if he goes in to try to trade with Fabi, if he doesn't crush him and dominate him in that trade, or continue to apply pressure after the trade and make him continue to trade auto attack damage and just keep going at it, then Fabi's able to heal himself back up and go back in. And Mega Zero, he doesn't have the ability to make that happen, at least not as well.
Well, in this top lane, we see a lot of poke from that Caitlyn as well as the Ziggs. The Mega Inferno Bomb was used to push them away from the tower. Ace in the hole as well, dishing out a lot of supplemental DPS and forces Curse Academy back. The minefield being laid and Thresh going forward. The flash play misses, but the boss connects. Jacksmith uses his ultimate, but it doesn't really bounce to anybody. It's going to be a kill picked up for Caitlyn, while Brand picks up a kill on Thresh. One bouncing bomb is not going to land on Tatsula, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, and a tower also acquired by Complexity.
Oh, Mega Zero wants this dive? No, he doesn't.
Ooh, he doesn't want the dive. As soon as Elise shows up, he's like, let's back up from that one.
Yeah, that could have been pretty catastrophic if Ninjakin pulled the trigger on that ultimate. He was going back in. If Mega Zero made the call to commit hard, then Ninjakin would have gone back in, and Fabi in that 2v1 would not have stood up, even with the tower helping him out. But the fact that One Bad Brad was in the area, that would have been catastrophic for Complexity if they tried to execute that dive. But, they're going to be pretty content with the way things are going out so far for them. They're leading by about 2,000 gold, so we're hitting the 21-minute mark, which is not a colossal gold lead, but it's enough, and they're biding their time. They're waiting until they can hit their big item breakpoints. Like, probably at this point has the Athenes and Holy Grail, so he's got the mana regeneration, a little bit of ability power, and the cooldown reduction, which is really the biggest part of that. He needs to pick up the death cap to increase the potency of that poke, and they're waiting for Mega Zero to hit his Trinity Force and potentially start building in towards a second item, whatever that second item may be. That's really the phase of the game where Jax starts getting really out of control, and apparently someone is knocking on the door of the Complexity house.
Yeah, my ass says, hold on a second, I gotta answer the door, and Jacksmith replies with, it's me, guys. So, don't know if that's actually going to be the way that Curse Academy decides to gank Complexity in real life or not, but we'll wind up finding out as soon as the pause winds up dispersing right here. But Curse Academy, at this point, they have fallen slightly behind in the gold count. It's not the 3,000 gold lead that Complexity had before, but it's still 2,000 gold, which is a sizable amount, about the 22-minute mark right here. The kills, however, are fairly close. The only thing that Complexity is really leading in is that objective control that they've gotten. The farm counts are a little bit skewed here, as Mega Zero has a little bit more. We have probably with a little bit more in the mid lane matchup, but Fabi is a bit further ahead of Chuper than everybody else in that little discrepancy between their CS counts. But the dragons for Complexity are definitely keeping them far ahead in the game, as well as the towers. The next one, that dragon that is going to be up in about 1 minute and 14 seconds. Both teams kind of know about this one. Tatsulo is going to start denying, or at least trying to gain back vision from Complexity by picking up that Oracle's Elixir he has currently over his head. We see him moving down with One Bad Brad to try to put wards in this area, because they know Complexity took the last dragon, but they don't necessarily know the exact timer, and they want to sweep out those wards before Complexity establishes complete control.
All right, so the teams are readying up. Here's going to be the resume. As I mean, this will actually only be the second dragon of the game, because Hecarim doesn't necessarily have that great dragon control necessarily compared to a champion like Elise, where we see Nintendo decks like soloing dragon as Elise at level 7, where he's just like, okay, I can do this now. It just goes and makes it happen. Ninjakin doesn't necessarily have that option on Hecarim. But generally speaking, Complexity have had a little bit more control in that area in the map because they had the Caitlyn and Thresh that were consistently applying pressure and pushing. So One Bad Brad didn't necessarily have an opportunity to try to make any sort of big early dragon plays happen either. So we're in a situation where the first dragon doesn't go down until, let's see, the second one's about to spawn at like 23 minutes. So the first one didn't go down until the 17-minute mark. That's considerably later than the average first dragon time. And it's just been indicative of how much rotation and how kind of chaotic this game has really been, as Complexity have been trying to take advantage and continuing to push Curse Academy back further and further on the map, trying to deny them more and more farm and try to just pick up more and more of the map resources.
We'll chalk it up to the patented Caitlyn strategy, taking down the bottom tower first, rotating towards the mid one, and then establishing dominance in that jungle area around the dragon pit. Complexity is not letting Curse Academy get away with free vision, as now we see MIA has an Oracle's Elixir of his own. They're also not letting one of the tankier members of their team group up in that top lane Jarvan, as he's going to be held at bay by Jax. So we actually do have Chuper taking a lot of damage from that culling, which I know Twitch chat doesn't think it deals damage, but when you got a Trinity Force and a BF Sword on Fabi's Lucian, it definitely deals a lot of damage.
Yeah. Could we say that it deals tons of damage?
It's the culling. I don't know if it deals tons of damage. But at the same exact time, while our puns aplenty are going down, Curse Academy has utilized that at least to go over the wall and have secured the dragon for themselves. So that's objective going for them, and they got a pincer move right now in Complexity's backline. MIA says, surprise, here's a box, misses the hook going down to one bad Brad, flash over the wall from Jaximus, Pyroclasm hits 4 members of Complexity. Now it's cleanup duty for Rux. Mega Zero takes out Jaximus, but Rux in the backline have taken out Chuper already. MIA is going to be the next one to fall down. Mega Inferno Bomb as well as a Hecarim Charge go across the bottom side of the screen. It's 2 for Mega Zero and 2 for Rux, but another one has been picked up here by one bad Brad. Rux flashes way over the wall, and Fabi still at a relative high amount of HP, forces away Complexity. All in all, it's a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Curse Academy and net them a dragon.
That was a really brave play by Jaximus flashing in to get that Pyroclasm down. And if he had survived any longer to get any more of his spells down, he arguably could have just killed everyone all on his own. Like, when it really comes down to it. I mean, that's so much damage. Pyroclasm plus the Pillar of Flame combined there with the fact that I'm pretty sure that did hit everybody at least once. So a Conflagration would have, like, on any target, would have spread the damage to everybody else. Like, that would have been an insane amount of burst damage if he had stayed alive for even just another rotation. So a really, really brave play from Jaximus. Really brave play coming out from Fabi as well, as he's the one kind of starting the fight, like dashing out ahead of Elise, as that's how eager he is to start the fight. And he was right to do so. I mean, you saw at the end of the fight, Fabi's still, at enough health to zone Mega Zero away when he was considering trying to find an opportunity to chase down Rux and pick up that kill, as he knew Rux had basically no health when he got himself back out over that wall. So very, very nice team fighting coming out there from Curse Academy, but it's not enough to close the gold gap down completely. They're still down 1,000 gold, but a 1,000 gold gap at the 25-minute mark is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. The thing they have to watch out for is that the clock is still ticking on Mega Zero's Jax. He's got the Trinity Force, and now he's picked up a Bilgewater Cutlass. If he picks up that Blade of the Ruin King and starts itemizing tanky, this is going to be a tough fight for anybody on Curse Academy to take him down.
You mentioned that 1,000 gold lead. If we hit the X button and check out the gold distribution tab, we can see that it's not all too much. It's spread fairly even amount the team. 100 or so in favor of Mega Zero, a couple hundred in favor of Prowly, and in the bottom lane matchup, it's actually Fabi that comes out ahead of Chuper, despite more kills being on Chuper. That CS differential being just a little bit too much for Caitlyn to keep up with. No, the gold count actually winds up favoring the junglers a little bit more, as Ninja Ken has a couple hundred gold lead over one bad Brad. But a couple hundred gold here, a couple hundred gold there doesn't really make for a large completed item difference, as Curse Academy recognize this and try to go in for a fight. Rux is in the backlines locking up Ninja Ken, but he's the tanky character here. Mega Zero finds a Jaximus in the middle of the fray. He gets obliterated right there. Lots of damage coming out from the culling, as well as Rux force Mega Zero back out of the fight, but Ninja Ken still has an ultimate primed and ready. Hook lands onto Rux. MIA is going to wind up not going in on that one. A flag and drag away, and Complexity set their sights on the objective. That's the 4th tower of the game for Complexity Gaming, and they trade in a 1-for-none situation, forcing Curse Academy back into their face.
And they're taking advantage of the additional range that they have. They're just abusing the fact that they have Caitlyn. They're abusing the fact that they have Ziggs. Whenever they make this big team fight happen, they know that they have enough pressure, even if they're not all necessarily full health. They know that they have enough pressure to make this happen. They have Mega Zero pushing up in the top lane. They're trying to bait this one out to see if anyone comes out of the base a little bit too quick, as the rest of the team stands over there lying in wait. They will not find anything there, but they do claim 2 towers after that fight. Beautiful play coming out there from Complexity. That's going to be enough to extend that gold lead back up to 3,000.
Well, we talked about this earlier on in Champions Select. Curse Academy, they are known for their fight compositions, whereas Complexity, we saw with that pickup from Chuper, is he doesn't get the lantern right there. Ninja Ken takes that one for himself, but with Chuper on Caitlyn, they're known for their objective-based control play, and we see them going back to that right here after Curse Academy has started to turn the tide in these team fights. Now, they're able to use that Hecarim ultimate they saved to get a clean escape right there, but now it's Curse Academy that are going to be rushing for a Baron attempt. They're forcing Complexity to react. Either give this Baron up, or you have to fight us, and well, if Chuper wants to fight him all by himself, Curse Academy's ready for that one. He's going to wind up just getting melted right there under the sheer power of the 5 strong from Curse Academy. Mega Inferno Bomb goes off a little bit too early, and Baron gets picked up off the back of 2 towers that were in favor of Complexity. But Curse Academy nets the Nasher, and now they are marching down mid lane.
Yeah, Curse Academy with a nice, I believe we call that the comeback Nasher, when teams are not in position after they just made a big push and they have to go back and heal. Very, very nice play from Curse Academy to recognize that they had the opportunity to make that happen. Ninja Ken, he had a good escape there on the Wraith Pony, trying to get himself away from that one, but he did have to burn the ultimate, so they felt very confident that there was not even a potential for any sort of Smite Steal action coming out here. Now they're trying to collapse down. They take down 2 towers, and here's the initiation.
Oh, Rux just blows up Prolly in the backlines, and he's very tanky, but he's taking a lot of damage from the combined efforts of Complexity. Mega Zero gets the kill on that one, but with the tower down, Fabi is free to charge forward, gets the shutdown spree on Mega Zero, and now one of the beefiest members of Complexity is no longer available to defend this Baron siege from Curse Academy. They're going to wind up taking down 3 towers in the mid lane and the inhibitor. 1 Baron nets them 3 and more, as Complexity are now on the back foot, not only in the pressure on the map, but in the gold count, the kill count as well.
Very, very nice play there by Curse Academy. This game has swung so far. It was 1,000 gold in favor of Complexity. Then it became 3,000 gold in favor of Complexity. Now it's 1,500 gold in favor of Curse Academy. Is that just a huge, huge turn of events there? Just massive for them as they pick up so many towers. They grab the first inhibitor of the game, they grab the first Baron of the game, and they're in a position to continue. They can just select a side lane, get one side lane pushing. They could even use Jarvan as a split pushing threat and have everyone else go in the other direction and start taking down some of the rest of these towers. If they're able to grab some of these towers, if they're able to continue picking up these objectives, they might be able to just get this gold lead snowballed out to an insurmountable advantage.
Well, the objective right now is Dragon, and it does get smited right there by Ninja Ken. The Pyroclasm coming out from Jacksmith, not going to bounce a security kill. Super Minion also wants to come in and try to help out his Curse Academy brethren, but Complexity take his life for that one. So there's going to be an objective going back in favor of Complexity, and despite the gold counts being closed within 1,000 apiece, you can't forget now that there are Super Minions like that one that gave his life for Curse Academy, threatening Complexity's base and threatening that mid lane right now.
So see, Fabi has picked up a Guardian Angel right now. He's got Trinity Force, Bloodthirster, Guardian Angel. This is interesting. He's concerned about getting burst down by the Ziggs, by Hecarim just prioritizing him and taking him down. As he's going to go ahead and use the calling. Rex wants to make this fight happen.
Oh man, MIA has to put down the box, gets a play off, and in the back lines, Rux is just decimating Prolly and Trooper. He's taking a lot of damage for it in the meantime, though. Stranglethorns get laid down as Lucian did pick up the kill on MIA's Thresh. Hecarim is actually joining in the back of the fray as Fabi goes unstoppable. Mega Zero is split pushing his little Jack's heart out, but his team is dying at the same exact time. It is a 2-for-0 trade in favor of Curse Academy in what was a 4v4 fight situation. Now that Rux has actually gone back to base and heal, Mega Zero jumps in on Jacksmith, but he's gonna find Jarvan as well. There's no Cataclysm ultimate. The Pyroclasm actually goes down from Jacksmith. Mega Zero in a duel to the death. He wants to go 1-for-1, but it's not gonna wind up working out. In the meantime, across the map, Curse Academy is pushing down onto the bottom inhibitor tower. Ninja Ken trying to do all he can to defend against Fabi, but he's actually going to wind up giving up that tower there. The inhibitor is going to go down as well. 3 members of Curse Academy. Baron buff still ticking away on them. This Baron has been well worth it. They get 2 inhibitors for that. They get 5 towers on the map, and they pick up a Mega Zero split pusher.
This has been a fantastic play. Fabi's not done. He's using the culling. Will not be able to pick up that kill on the MIA as he forces him back out. But so much poke going back down. They're trying to make something happen and grab this Nexus tower, but they will not have the opportunity to do so as Trooper has made his way back out to the fray. He's going to be able to get a lot of damage down here. Will be able to deter any further pushing on the Nexus for now. But Curse Academy are fine with that because they have an opportunity to take down even more towers.
And one thing that I really like out of Fabi's Lucian plays, he's not afraid to use the culling. It only has a 50-second cooldown. Might not be up for this fight though. Ninja Ken winds up going down onto one bad Brad. The hook lands onto Fabi with the Guardian Angel. He might not be the prime target to try to jump in and just assassinate right out of the get-go. Rux takes down that top lane tower as now Curse Academy has turned the tower game against Complexity. 8 compared to 5 at this point in time as Ninja Ken decides it's time to go in. Rux wants to go into his backlines with a flag and drag, and now Mega Zero's left to tank up everything because Ninja Ken got so low. He winds up going down. Trooper in the backlines has to try to get away. Barrier has been popped. McCullen gets a kill on Prolly. Lantern goes out to keep Trooper alive, but Complexity are retreating into the depths of their base. Play does not connect onto Rux. Fabi goes forward. Double kill for him. Mega Zero heals up with the home guards, tries to jump down onto anybody from Curse Academy, and he does get a kill for Trooper. They jump down onto Fabi. He has to pop his barrier, but his Guardian Angel is still active on the map. 4 members of Curse Academy are up, 2 members of Complexity are available, and that's going to be for 20 more seconds. Never mind, it's just 1. Chipper went down to Jacksonus in that circumstance, and now it's all up to Mega Zero. He gets 1, he gets a Guardian Angel, but he's going to fall himself. That is an ace for Curse Academy. No Nexus Towers alive. Curse Academy with the comeback against Complexity, and they take the final game of the evening.
Fantastic play there from Curse Academy.